Today we're going to talk about descriptive versus inferential statistics. And what are statistics exactly? Statistics are used to summarize, analyze, and interpret numerical data. There are two types of statistics we will discuss: descriptive and inferential. Now, why are we studying statistics in the first place? Why do you have to take this course? Or why are you being forced for work to learn how to do statistics? Well, the media is always using statistics to give you information. However, they don't always do it ethically. If you learn basic statistics, you'll become more informed and you'll be able to make your own decisions instead of relying on the media. Because sometimes the media doesn't always tell you the truth. Now here's a link that specifically shows a list of a history of dishonest Fox News charts. Now, Fox News isn't the only media outlet that gives you an unethical list of statistics. They're not the only ones that don't represent things correctly. However, I found this link and I found it very interesting, so I thought I'd share it with you. Here is one of the charts that was on that specific website, and it shows a bar graph that's supposed to be representing something with the Bush tax cuts. It really doesn't matter what this is representing for what we need for right now. What I'm trying to show you is that if you look at the numbers, this number for the lowest bar is 35%, and the number for the highest bar is 39.6%. Now, if you look at just the bars, this looks like an enormous difference. But if you look at the numbers, you can see that the difference is only 4.6%. It's not really that big a difference. But if you look at it, if you represent it this way on the right, you can see that there's really not much of a difference between these two bars. The only reason it looks different here is because of the way they have it displayed. And that's the unethical part, because a lot of people watching the news will look at this and immediately think there's a huge difference, when in reality there's not. But if they expand on things like this, and they don't represent it accurately, the people that are watching, they don't pay attention to the numbers, they look at the visuals. And the visuals look striking, whereas the numbers, if you just pay attention to those, they're not that big a deal. Now, the first type of statistics we'll talk about are descriptive statistics. These just describe information. They summarize data to make sense of it. For example, the average test score was 65.84%. This statement is using descriptive statistics. It's merely telling you, an average. It's not giving you any inferences. It's not saying something about the population. It just describes the information and does not do anything else. Here's an example of a table that has some descriptive statistics in it. These are just giving you the information about the data. That's all it's doing. It's not making any claims about the population. We can see here that there are 50 people in this, and the average is 65.84, and the mode is 75. Now, we're also going to talk about inferential statistics. Inferential statistics are used when observations are taken from a sample to generalize to a population. Basically, when a scientist takes a sample, which is a portion of a population, and they get the statistics from it, and they use those to make inferences about the population, which is the entire group, they're using inferential statistics. An example would be from the journal articles that you probably have to read for school or something like that, or maybe even for work. These have statistics in them such as T's and F's and R's, and these things have been calculated and conclusions have been made in the results in the discussion sections. These are inferential because they're taking statistics from a sample and making inferences about the population. In summary, statistics are used to summarize, analyze, and interpret numerical data. It's very important to study statistics in order to be more informed and understand the media that one sees every single day. Descriptive statistics merely describe the data, whereas inferential statistics are used to make inferences from a sample and generalize to a population.